Big Blue Nation, it's a pleasure to be here. I gotta start this off with a Go Big Blue. I'd love it if y'all would follow with me. Go Big Blue, go Big Blue, go Big Blue, go Big Blue. What an honor, what a privilege it is to be here. And without further ado, I'm grateful, I'm honored, I'm pleasured to introduce the 45th and 47th President of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump.
Nah, this can't be real, bro. This can't be real. Did I just see Jaxson Dart on stage at a Trump rally? I've seen everything, bro, officially. You could tell me anything and I'll believe it at this point because come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm not surprised because he's a supporter of the Republican Party. I'm surprised that his PR team allowed this to happen. Whether you support Donald Trump or despise him, that's beside the point, bro. Because this really is not about politics anymore. This is about timing, branding, about understanding the city you play in. And honestly, bro, I swear, this really might go down as one of the worst PR decisions I've ever seen from an athlete. If you somehow missed it, New York Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart just walked on stage at a Trump rally in New York City and introduced Donald Trump in front of a packed crowd. Trump then praised Dart, called him a Hall of Famer, and social media instantly exploded. This video is not about telling athletes that they can't have political opinions. He absolutely can. He's an American citizen. I mean, he can support whoever he wants. But being allowed to do something and it being smart are two completely different conversations. And from a career and PR standpoint, this is beyond reckless. Like, who gets paid to read the room, bro? You play football in New York. New York ain't just a football town or city. New York is one of the most politically vocal, media-heavy, emotionally reactive cities on earth. Everything becomes culture war content here. Everything. And Jaxson Dart isn't Patrick Mahomes. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Josh Allen. He's still trying to convince people he can be the guy. That's what makes this even crazier. If a proven athlete does something controversial, fans may disagree with them or politically even disagree with them sometimes, but still they can separate the player from the opinion because the aura already exists. But when you're still building your identity, when the city is still deciding whether they like you, you do not voluntarily split the fan base in half. That's branding suicide. And the scary part is I genuinely don't think his team understands what just happened. Because now every interception becomes political. Every bad game becomes political. Every loss becomes political. And that's the problem. You've just given people a reason to root against you that has nothing to do with football. Sports fans are already emotional enough. New York fans, brutal. And he added politics to it. Yo, good luck, bro, honestly. And speaking of honesty, let's be honest about another layer nobody wants to talk about. It's 2026. People don't process things rationally anymore. They process things tribally. So the second he walked onto that stage, millions of people instantly categorized him, not as the quarterback, a young athlete, or even as a developing player. Nah. Now he's just MAGA quarterback Jaxson Dart, bro. That becomes the headline, the identity, and the meme. And once the internet assigns you an identity, it's hard to take it back. He gonna have to win this year, bro. Like this season and like 3 straight after that to get any type of respect from certain people. Not to mention the players on the other side of the ball who's gonna want to take his head off just for some mentions online. People already started flooding Twitter, Reddit, all the sport forums, criticizing him, with fans saying they were out on Dart immediately after they saw him appear at this Trump rally. Now, let's go even deeper because some people are going to say, well, athletes endorsed Democrats before. And while that's true, most quarterbacks are held to a different standard. Quarterbacks are expected, fair or unfair, to feel universally marketable, safe, neutral, corporate. They are supposed to be leader-like. There's a reason most franchise quarterbacks avoid strong public political alignments entirely. until after they established themselves, at least. Tom Brady, I mean, people suspected things politically for years, but he was very careful publicly what he said during most of his career. Michael Jordan famously avoided politics publicly during his career. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, even the Giants quarterback Eli Manning. Most franchise quarterbacks understand the less polarizing you are, the easier it is for everyone to buy into you. Jaxson Dart just skipped that entire phase. And in today's environment, that's dangerous, especially because athletes aren't just dealing with sports media anymore. They're dealing with clips and algorithms, TikTok outrage, quote tweets, narrative channels, political influencers, reaction streamers. One appearance can become your entire online identity overnight. And I think people are underestimating the locker room aspect of this. NFL locker rooms are incredibly diverse politically, racially, culturally, religiously, everything. You never want to walk into a locker room as a young quarterback with unnecessary distractions surrounding you, especially not one tied to the most polarizing political figure in American history. Because now your teammates have to answer questions. Coaches have to answer questions. The organizations and owners have to answer questions. And for what? What football benefit did you actually provide? That's the question nobody is going to be able to answer because the risk-reward ratio makes 0 sense. What did he gain? A viral moment, a handshake from Trump, approval from one side politically? Okay. But what did he potentially lose? Fans, a brand, safety, neutrality, marketability, mental peace, public patience, and maybe most importantly, margin for error. That's the biggest thing. In New York City, fans only tolerate controversy. They only tolerate the controversy if you're going to be a winner, if you're winning. And people overlook almost anything if you could do that. But if you're struggling, man, it's going to get ugly fast, bro. Now every sports show in New York has a built-in narrative just waiting for them. And that's what happens when you merge politics and sports publicly before cementing your status. These younger athletes really underestimate the permanence of internet culture. 20 years ago, this might have been a small local news story. Now, that clip is going to live forever. Every bad performance from here on out, people will repost that video forever. And I know people watching this are going to disagree with me and say, who cares? Athletes should stand on what they believe. And listen, I respect conviction. I really do. But there's a difference between conviction and strategy, especially when your entire career is just beginning. Because right now, Jaxson Dart needed football fans focused on one thing, whether he could be the future of the Giants. And the Giants look like they have a bright future right now. Instead, the conversation is going to be about politics. That is a disaster for the organization and for this young quarterback. And the craziest part, this may not even reflect how he intended to be perceived. Maybe he just genuinely supports Trump. Maybe he thought it would just be cool to be there for New York. Maybe he didn't realize the backlash would be this intense. But perception matters more than intent in the modern media. That's the game now. In New York, I said it 100 times, New York amplifies everything. So now we're about to find out whether Jaxson Dart is mentally prepared for what comes next. The man already had a past that people didn't love, and now they hate you because the pressure just tripled overnight. Not just from defenses, not just from football, but from culture. And honestly, that's a much harder thing to escape, my boy. We'll talk soon.